how to read the information on the back of a seed packet. Alright guys, so not every seed packet is made equally, unfortunately, so you may have to go hunting for some information. So I want to look at some differences here. So we've got M.I. Gardner. Right away I know that's an heirloom, it's an annual, and of course every company puts what it is on the front. So on the back here we have a little about section. So it tells me a little bit about the history, how it might taste flavor profile wise, and how you can cook it up. It tells me to start it indoors 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. So this is when you're going to start your seedlings inside. Days to germinate, so that's how long it's going to take for it to sprout. Germination temperature, this is the best temperature for them to germinate at. Days until maturity, which means days until harvest, so when you can pick your fruit from the plant. Plant spacing, so how far apart they should be planted, and about how big these are going to get. Down here is a little bit of a harvest tip, so that's a bit of a bonus. On this side, we have how hot the pepper is going to be, how deep to plant. This one lets you know that it's container friendly and full sun. So that's a pretty solid description on the back for seeds. Like I said, not all packets are going to be this detailed, but that's why I do enjoy M.I. Gardner. So let's take a look at the Seed Savers exchange. So we don't have any extra info on the front here. It just tells you what it is, picture. So we're going to turn it over. And we have our little history up here. We have our start indoors, 8 weeks before last frost, germination or how many days till it sprouts, how far apart, what it should be planted in for sun-wise. We do have how deep. It does let you know that they germinate best in warm soil. And wait to transplant outdoors until soil is warm. So that seems a little bit lacking, right? So let's look up here. At the very end it says 80 days from transplant. Now for someone who's not familiar with starting seeds, that might be a little bit confusing. So what that means is when you transplant it out from being a seedling, that is how many days it's going to take until you can harvest from it. And then it just throws in the medium hot. So that is a little bit of a catch. Just make sure 80 days from transplant, you know that's how many days until harvest. And keep that in mind too, things that are normally started inside, peppers, tomatoes, when it tells you how many days until harvest, that really means from the day of transplant outside and not from the day that you started the seeds in the house. So keep that in mind. And then one more packet. This one is from Baker's Creek, Sugar Rush Peach Pepper. So we've got some information in the middle, a little bit about the history, flavor profile. We have start indoors, 8 to 12 weeks, heat mat helps, and that they appreciate afternoon shade during the hottest summer weather. They like to put their information on the side, so we've got the sprouts in 7 to 10 days. This one tells you the ideal temperature for growing through the season. That's cool. Seed depth, plant spacing. This one has a bonus of telling you that it's not frost hardy, and it specifies how many hours of sun. Now, for some reason, Baker's Creek, I don't know if they've changed it recently, but they lack in telling you how many days until harvest. So I typically go online. They do have it in their plant description, and I'll just write it out on the package. But that's something to keep in mind when you purchase from them. And that's how you utilize that information on the back. So again, not made equally, but there is at least some information on the back of each of these. Again, M.I. Gardner is my favorite for the amount of information. They are also the cheapest for seeds if you're just starting out. Seed Savers and Baker's Creek, they're great for the more unique seeds if you're looking for something just a little bit more special.